Hi, I'm Angelia Chandra. Today I'm going to present you a videocast about how traditional media is being overshadowed by the emergence of new media and how it could still survive. This is a virtual news reporting broadcast which is created using the Extranormal online application, which enables creation of animated 3D movies based on a given set of scripts and directed actions. I came across this recently, which itself is still a relatively new technology, and found it to be very promising, useful, and fun. With it, I also came to realize how it is now becoming easier to find user-generated content that is newsworthy on the web. Extra Normal is definitely one state-of-the-art example of why new media is posing serious challenges against traditional media as a method of delivering news. It has just become yet another online media where production techniques are much more accessible. To demonstrate this, I have therefore created this own production of mine. I hope you'll enjoy it. The content is based on valid market research data. The acts are meant to be mimicking a real news broadcast production, including the availability of a studio guest to add credibility. In fact, this gets quite real that I believe in future it's very possible that real newscasts are to be animated in this way too. So bear with me as I now warp into the virtual world to get ready in the studio and present for you this unique production.
Good afternoon. You are watching EPR News with me, Angelia Chandra. Today's breaking news. New media poses challenges for traditional media. After the emergence of new media, internet has become an important source of news. A research by Pew Research Center, titled the News Consumption and Believability Study, showed that in America, 37% of the public regularly get news online. A decade ago, just 13% of the public went online for news at least 3 days a week. Meanwhile, the overall share using any traditional news source on a given day has fallen from 90% in 1994 to 73% today. On the screen, you could see the figure reflecting the declining of traditional media usage. The share that reads a newspaper yesterday stands at 34%, down 6 points in just 2 years and down 14 points from 48% a decade ago. Radio news is suffering comparable losses. The share that listened to news on the radio yesterday also has slipped 14 points since 1998, from 49% to 35%. Television is the only media that has remained largely stable over the past 10 years. From the previous figure, we could see that newspapers is the most affected media. The rise of internet news causes its readership to decline. However, online newspaper sites are getting more popular. Therefore, most printed newspapers are now having the online version to adjust itself, as more and more people are getting news online. Following is the figure showing the fall of newspapers' readership and the rise of online newspaper sites. Besides online newspaper sites, online news program and social media are the other sources of internet news. Figure on the screen shows that a third of overall Americans regularly watch news video on the web. Nearly a quarter of Americans at least sometimes listen to newscasts online. About the same proportion of the public says they regularly read blogs about politics or current events. Universal McCann Company has also done a research to measure the impact of social media. Its research, called the Social Media Tracker Wave 3, which is conducted in March 2008, shows that social media has played a role as an important source of internet news. Now in the studio, we are joined by Mr. Zed, spokesperson of Universal McCann Company, to tell us the impact of social media. Good afternoon, Mr. Zed. Welcome to the studio.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Zed, could you please tell us more about the growth of social media as a source of online news?
Well, firstly, blog is one of the largely used sources of online news. Based on our research, globally, 77% of the active internet users have read a blog with 70% weekly reach. News and current affairs are in the top 3 position of topics that are read most often. The blogosphere, as a collective, rivals any mass media in terms of reach, time spent and wider cultural, social and political impact. Secondly, Online video clips continue to grow massively, with 82% global reach seen in all markets, with 71% weekly reach. Thirdly, podcast has grown massively in just a year time, that 49% people worldwide has downloaded podcast with 20% daily reach.
Thank you, Mr. Z, for all the useful information.
You are welcome.
In conclusion, the rise of new media has caused traditional media usage to decline, especially the print media, as more people are getting news online. However, print media seem to have found out a way to survive by creating the online version. And there is a good sign showing that online newspaper sites will keep growing. Besides, social media, including blogs, video clips, podcast and social networking sites, have also played important roles as the sources of online news. New media will continue to grow, but on the other hand, will traditional media survive this challenge? Time will prove it. But I guess it will survive if it finds a way adapting itself to its audiences. Besides, as the name traditional media suggests, traditional media would always be a part of our lives, as it has been a tradition for us to watch TV or read newspapers and magazines in our daily life. For more information, visit angeliachandra.wordpress.com. Thank you for watching EPR News.